our Scratch assignment 2, add health and speed and an enemy. First, you're going to go to scratch.mit.edu. You're going to click on sign in, put in your username and password, and click on sign in. Next, what you're going to do is click on the folder right there in the top right corner, and you're going to see your game, and you're just going to click on see inside. So next what we're going to do is we're going to be adding an enemy sprite. So we have a couple of different options for that. The first option is adding an enemy from the library. So this is the easier of the two options. In order to do that, you'd click on the guy with the big hair next to where it says new sprite, and then you would just click on whatever you want your enemy sprite to be. So for example, I'm going to click over here on the bat and then click on OK. Now, let's say I want to find an enemy from Google. Here is option 2, whereas instead of finding an enemy from the Sprite library, we can find an enemy from Google. So anyway, that's what I'll show you how to do next. So if you want to get an enemy from Google, you'll just open up a new tab and then Google search what you want to find for your enemy. And then click on images, and you want to click on search tools and click on color and choose transparent. And then I'm going to find the one that I want, so I'll click on it and then two-finger click on my touchpad. Make sure that I'm pointing at the picture itself. Two-finger click on my touchpad and choose Save Image As. And then click on Save. Next, I'm going to click back over to the Scratch tab, and I'm going to click on the folder next to where it says New Sprite. And then I should see the picture that I just saved. So I'm going to click on it and click on Open. Now, a lot of the time, the images might be too big, so we've got this button right here next to the question mark. We can click on that, and then keep clicking on your sprite, and we'll eventually make your sprite smaller. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to start programming it, and you're going to do that by adding an event, just like we did last time with our actual character. So you click on events, and then click and drag when flag clicked, because otherwise it won't work. Next, we're going to begin making our enemy sprite move. So we're going to click and just put our enemy where we want him to start. So let's say we want him to come flying in from the left-hand side. Then you're going to click on motion and click and drag the point in direction block to connect over to the when flag clicked. Then you're going to click and drag, actually I have to scroll down just a little bit. Right there. Click and drag the set rotation style block. That's going to make him kind of turn when he hits the edge. Then we're going to click and drag the go to block, and so that'll automatically make him start in the same place every time. And then the last thing we're going to do is just type in a number where it says point in direction. If you want him to move diagonally, which is what I'm going to do, we're going to type in 45. If you wanted him to move just from left and right, you would do 90. If you wanted him to move up and down, you would do 180. But anyway, diagonal, I'm going to do 45. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add what's called a speed variable, and that's going to make our enemy's speed change. So we're going to click on data up at the top and click on make a variable, and we're going to call it speed. Next, we're going to click OK, and we're going to click and drag the set speed block to go onto the bottom of the last block, and we're going to click and drag, or actually just click right here where it says set speed to 0, and we're just going to type in a number. For example, I'm going to start with 10, and we're going to make the speed go faster and faster each time. Then we're going to add a forever block and a repeat block. So we're going to go over to control. And so we're going to start off with forever block, put it down here, repeat block, put it inside the forever block, and we're going to use that in order to make it so that our character will move, because right now our enemy won't move. Then what you're going to do is click on motion, and you're going to drag the move 10 steps into the repeat block. So actually he's going to end up moving 100 steps, 10 steps times 10 times. And then we're going to scroll down just a little bit, and we're going to find the if on edge bounce button. That's going to make it so that once he gets to the edge, he doesn't keep going off the screen. So we're going to click and drag that to go under move 10 steps. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to change it so that he moves by the same number that the speed is at. Now right now the speed's at 10, so it's going to not really make too much of a change, but when the speed increases, then he'll move faster. So we're just going to click on data, click and drag where it says speed, and we're going to put that so that it says move speed steps. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the character sprite, and we're going to give him a variable too, which is going to be called health. So we're going to click on data, make a variable, and this one we're going to call health. Click OK. And then what you're going to do is click and drag the set health to 0 to go directly underneath when flag clicked. And we're not going to start at 0, we're going to start at something like 50. So we'll just click there and set health to 50. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add another if block so that we make our character lose health if he were to get hit by the enemy. So we're going to click on control and then click and drag the if block to go underneath the last if block, like that. Then what you're going to do next is you're going to click on sensing, and then you're going to click and drag the touching block, and we're going to put it in that little hexagon space, and we're going to make it so that it says if touching and then our enemy, which is plankton, and then we're going to make it so that we actually lose some health. So you're going to then click on data again, and then click and drag the change health by 1 block to go inside the if block. But we want to make it a negative number because we're going to subtract the health if you happen to be touching the enemy. So we're just going to type in -1. Next, which we're going to do is we're going to make the game end if health is at 0. So we're going to click on control, drag another if block to go under the previous if block. Then we're going to go ahead and put in a stop all. So right now it just says if blank then, and then stop all. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that if the health equals 0, then our game will stop. So you're going to now click on operators, and we're going to click and drag the one with the equal sign to go in the little hexagon. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to click on data so that we can get that health block, and we're going to drag it into the first blank in that green operator. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say if health equals 0, stop all, and that'll make the game end if your character were to have 0 health. And so that's the last part, and so what we can do now is we can test our game. So you'll click on the green flag, and so notice now we've got our character, and so what we can do is try to avoid our enemy. And what happens is if you accidentally touch your enemy, your health ends up going down. See, now I'm only at health level 5, and then when I get to 0, the game's ended, and that's it.